whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Welcome to Talking Horror with Jamie and Nikisha.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Nikisha, and this is Talking Horror with Jamie.
And Nikisha.
Where we share our love for all things scary and talk horror through the lens of human behavior. Welcome, everyone. We have our lenses. We're ready to go. We do. Brian has his on his head. Thank you. Appreciate it. You got to come into the fold.
I've ruined everything.
Put your lenses on. And if you're watching us on the YouTubes, you'll see that we have another person, a fourth, with their lenses on. I'm going to kick it over to producer Brian to introduce our special guest for today.
You may know this gentleman from TikTok, from Instagram, from haunting your malignant dreams. We have here SlasherReviews, aka Dillon Tillman. Thank you so much for being here. I've been watching you for years. We met for the first time in person at South by Southwest, and I forced you to come on the podcast, and here you are. Thank you.
Literally by force. I just want you to say it was a DM, and I said absolutely, and then he's like, I was like, I'm always down to talk. And one, mentioning Malignant in my introduction has already given me like this surge of energy. Like I just love that. Like when people look at me, they look at me and like they're like, yeah, that's the Malignant guy. Like,
yes.
I love that that's my legacy on this app. Like,
actually, you could be standing. You could be standing next to James Wan, and they point to you and go, "That's the Malignant guy."
Yeah, literally, I was on the saw red carpet of Sundance. I'm like, how can I like slip in Malignant? Like, I want to talk to him about Malignant.
Hell yeah!
And I did, and I did. I managed to squeeze that in. I love that. Like, people look at me and they're like, "Yeah, Malignant, Friday the 13th." Like that's him. He's Jason Voorhees. All he does is make thirst traps of them and talk about like, you know. And here I am on Talking Horror, which is, you know, a fun but very serious podcast.
We have our fun. We have our fun.
You have a lot of fun.
I promise you.
You have a lot of fun on here. So I'm very excited to finally be brought on over here. And it was fun finally seeing your face. Like actually seeing you.
That's true. Like in person. Like
there
you are, Peter. Like in Hook, we touched each other's faces and we reshaped it.
Weird. Like you'll actively see people. Like I see you like religiously because you. Let's be honest, you're online religiously. I see you a lot. You post. So I see you so often on my iPhone 14 Plus, sponsored by Apple. Look, I'm trying to get y'all those sponsors for the future.
Yeah,
okay?
no, we appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I'm like, okay. I see you so much, so it was really cool to like actually get to like, finally meet you in person and realize, oh wow, he's just as cool as he is online. Which is awesome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, when I spotted you, I was like, Nikisha and I went to South by Southwest. We didn't really know anybody. Nikisha left after 2 days for prior commitments. And so I was there kind of by myself, I was. And it was very comforting to like see these faces of people that I've, like you said, have seen online every single day for the past couple of years. So you were actually the first person that I saw that I knew from social media. And I felt like no hesitancy to like go over and say hello. So your energy definitely exudes that for sure.
Oh, well, that makes me feel so good because I want people to feel that way. I understand as an extrovert, like, I don't know if everyone online is also as an extrovert as me because we all have like the version that we clock in online and the version that we are offline.
Totally.
Absolutely.
People don't realize that they're literally, some people, the person that you see every day when you're scrolling is nowhere near the person they are in real life. I will say that I try to be both as I am online and offline. So I want people to think that like when that I'm a friendly person they can just run up to and say hi to. Because honestly, I want people to run up and say hi to. I feed off of human interaction. That's the extrovert in me. Like if I can't sit still for too long or sit in my thoughts for too long, like I am about as extroverted Leo as they come. Like I like as so like so honestly that makes me happy to hear that, because honestly that's one of my favorite aspects of going to film festivals. You go there for the movies, but you secretly are there for the camaraderie that happens at these festivals, which is why I think I'm so addicted. Like it becomes a drug after a while, and I'm already getting ready to head off to my next festival. Like I'm just like, it's just one after the other after the other. So yeah. So that was exciting. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And anybody who wants to follow, excuse me, Dillon, all of his social media links and everything are in the description of this episode, so you can follow directly from there. Cool.
I swear this background is not normally what you see. I am in random hotel rooms often, and I will let you assume why that may be, because a little bit of mystery and intrigue is exciting.
It's
but
cute.
Normally it is cute why I'm always in random hotel rooms, but I do have my own setup back home, and so yeah.
Well, next time when we redo Malignant, we'll have to have you on with your background.
The fact of the matter is, you should talk about Malignant like once
all
a
the
month.
time.
Once a month, once a quarter. Yeah.
Okay.
We need to keep that conversation going, because we're not going to get Malignant. I have literally mapped out a 13 film saga for Malignant. Like I've mapped out every single one, given in titles, given in plot descriptions, who should star, who should cast, who should do the reboots, who should direct, all of that. So like we need to keep this conversation going, because I'm not giving up the fight.
Let's go.
Like, come on now.
We will join your cause.
Yes. Amazing. Well, unfortunately, today we are not talking about Malignant, but we are talking about some supernatural goodness. Today we're talking about the 2020 supernatural horror film, The Empty Man.
You can't see it.
Well, what is it?
The veil between form and flesh, and the means by which it can be pierced, and the two allowed to commingle. That is the empty man.
Now, this movie was directed, written, and co-edited by David Pryor in his directorial debut, and it's based on a graphic novel of the same name, which I did not know that. And it stars James Badge Dale and Marin Ireland. And of course, heavy spoilers if you have not seen The Empty Man. And Jamie, please hit us with those trigger warnings.
Yes. If you don't like to be empty, don't watch this. No, this has
Don't watch it.
Yeah,
be full, eat a filling meal before you watch this.
Yes.
No, there's a lot of like supernatural elements, cults. If you don't like cults, lots of like references to death and death by suicide. We observe some of them. Creepy creature man. Car accident. Infidelity.
Yeah. Spicy.
A summoning something, a demon, mysterious being. Falling while like hiking. That was terrifying.
Oh yes. Whoa.
Yeah. Make sure that you always make that sound when you're falling off a cliff.
Did anyone hear something? Whoa!
All right, do we need to re-edit this movie?
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
There's hallucinations.
Did you say gun
a
violence?
Lot of hallucinations.
Already? Oh, gun violence.
Gun violence, yeah. References to grief.
Yeah. Bad haircuts.
Yikes.
Bad haircuts.
Lord.
Can't wait for that.
When in doubt, if you don't know what to do with an actor, just give him a buzz cut.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Anything else? Did I miss anything?
I think that's pretty solid.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Nice.
That feels about right.
Yeah.
So if any of that stuff is not appealing to you, this might not be the movie for you, but you can still listen to us talk about it because we got a fun guest on. So before we get into all the things, producer Brian is going to offer us just a couple of words.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Hi, YouTube. Hi, everybody on listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We appreciate you. If you're here for the first time, welcome. We're so happy to have you. If you're here for the 10th time, thank you so much. If you are here for the first time and you like what you hear, follow us all over on social media at Talk Horror Pod, on TikTok, on Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're just, we do movies outside of what we do here. And if you don't like what you hear, just leave and don't give us a review or anything. Just like go about your day. We appreciate you being here for the first time and last time. But I think that's everything.
Yeah, great. Well, have you guys watched anything new this week that you would like to share?
Yes.
I know Brian's always ready.
So I finally, in a previous episode, you heard that I got halfway through Frogman Returns, but I just finished
right.
Frogman Returns. And
Okay.
I can say that the last 15 minutes of Frogman Returns is fucking crazy in the best way. I think that everything leading up to it is a little bit redundant of the first one and blah. But then you get to this. There's a point in the third act that's just like why wasn't the whole movie like this?
Dillon has some words.
I'm gagging. Okay. Frogman Returns, banger, icon. She's like a legend.
She is the moment in the movement.
She is. I kind of love when a movie is like, we're just gonna do a pivot, and we're just gonna do a 360, and we're gonna become like it. Almost in that final act becomes like a completely different genre. Like I'm no longer like scared or intrigued. It's like full on spectacle, just shock and awe.
Yes.
Of where it goes. Now I will admit I do prefer the first Frogman.
Same.
Frogman Returns. And I do think that when this movie comes out, I actually think a lot of people might prefer the sequel because there's a lot more action and stakes and like more drama in the sequel.
Yeah.
But I did like the Blair Witch style, like investigativeness into like the legend of Frogman so much. And it still has that level of like wacky do town towards the final act. Frogman Returns, baby, it goes even further with that final act.
He returns all right.
So,
and the best part of Frogman Returns is when they fucking drop Ratma's name. Truly caught me by surprise.
When is Anthony Cousin for VHS segment Let It Happen?
He would direct the fuck out of a VHS segment. That's an excellent point.
I was watching it. When I saw that moment, I was like, no. This man wants to do a VHS segment. Let's get him on the clock. Let's lock the boy in. But
love that.
And then I watched
had a great time with Frogman Returns.
Oh yeah, I mean that last 30 minutes made up for any of the first two acts where I was like okay, let's keep going. Yeah. I'm just saying. I watched Hunting Matthew Nichols.
Me too.
Okay.
I really liked it a lot. I think it's one of the best mock docs that actually feels like if I had turned on Netflix and this auto played at the next one, I would have believed that this was an actual documentary until shit gets wild.
Obviously the last
yeah. But I was expecting not a lot from this, and I actually ended up really enjoying it. Is it great? No. Solid? Yes.
I literally watched that last night. I had a screener.
Me too.
Literally,
Me too.
I was like, I got the email. I was like, I would like a screener, please. And they sent it to me, so I watched it, and I don't think I liked it as much as you did. I do agree with the sentiments that I do feel like it really much hones in the craft. I think people are going to compare it to Shelby Oaks. in a lot of ways. I will say, when it comes to like the recent, and which is weird because people are comparing things to Shelby Oaks, when inevitably, if you do the domino effect of where it originated, it feels like everyone's just trying to make their version of Lake Monaco, you know, and it feels like Shelby Oaks is just trying to be the Lake Monaco, but since Shelby Oaks was neon, it's like neon. That's now the standard. When in fact that like I felt like Shelby Oaks didn't quite land the plane when it comes to the final act, but it had the scare tactics and the intrigue to keep me invested. While I felt like Hunting, Matthews, Nichols needed more of the scares and intrigue, but it had the investigation down. Like so much of that first is so much investigating and trying to figure out what happened to the brother. But it does land the plane in the final act where I felt Shelby Oaks doesn't. I felt like Matthew Nichols lands the plane, but I felt like it needed a little bit more like beefed up in the scare tactics in the first half.
Oh, that's totally fair.
Which is probably why, in terms of Shelby Oaks or I guess Lake Monaco ripoffs, if you were going to do, Man Finds Tape is probably my favorite of the bunch.
I was going to ask in comparison to Man Finds Tape how y'all felt about it.
I think that they are definitely cut from the same cloth. This one to me felt more like what's the Ortiz movie that we that just came out? Strange Harvest.
Oh,
in
yes,
some
yes,
ways.
yes, yes, yes.
Because Strange Harvest really felt like a true like episode of 2020 or Dateline.
It did.
This one, so I would compare it to that more than I would definitely compare this the most to Shelby Oaks, and I preferred this to Shelby Oaks because I'd rather something land the plane than be okay and then not land the plane. I'd rather something.
I get what you mean with that. I think Man Finds Tape finds a healthy balance between that mystery of what's going on in this town and the pastor, and also actually having genuine set piece of scares throughout the film, which is probably why I kind of lean towards that one compared to all the others that have come out in recent memories. However, if I wasn't mentioning Strange Harvest. Strange Harvest is my girl. That's my babe. That's my love. She's the GOAT in terms of all of the others. That one worked for me. I saw that at Fantastic Fest. I was a big fan of Steve Ortiz, obviously for Grave Encounters and some of the other things that he's done, like It Runs the Sand Red or stuff like that. So I was a big fan of him. So I probably lean towards that the most in terms of those type of films. But it's interesting. Wow, we both probably got that screener at the same time. And
we probably did. Because they sent that email and I wrote like, "Can I have a screener?" And they're like, "Yeah, here you go. Here's the
literally, literally, I got it so quick."
Yeah, she was like, "Here, it's fine."
I love that. I also,
Nikisha, what'd you watch?
Yeah, I want to bring up that I haven't finished it, but I started the Netflix show Something Very Bad Is Gonna Happen. Have y'all started that yet?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I've only watched episode 1, and I literally watched it right before jumping onto this call.
Oh, funny.
Oh, okay.
And,
amazing.
So right now, I am obsessed. Like it has got me hooked. Please land the plane. I need a new Netflix horror series to like bring me back to, because sometimes Netflix horror series, people talk a lot of crap on Netflix, but when they are good God, some of their horror tier stuff, like what Mike Flanagan has done, is just like next level, and I need another next level horror show. Like and like that first episode has me like, what's going on? I don't need to know what's going on. I want to take this weird trip wherever it's going, because it already got me scared once or twice already with the stuff that was happening at a bar scene.
Yes.
And I was like, let's go.
Yeah, my friend messaged me and said, "Hey, I need you to watch this to let me know if it's scary or not," because she hates like super like graphic horror things, so she just wants me to like test it to see if it's if she can watch it, because she's heard good things about it. So I started watching it. I'm on episode 3 or 4, and I mean, when I start the episode, like I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. I'm not on my phone kind of back and forth, or like it's in the background. Like I'm invested in it. And so I agree, Dylan. I hope that they land the plane, because I feel like this could be a really good kind of in between Stranger Things and Mike Flanagan type of Netflix show, because it is Duffer Brothers.
They're executive producers and stuff like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I feel like Netflix doesn't really know what to do next with the horror sector now that Mike Flanagan has left, and now that Stranger Things has ended. They had a little bit of a gap period to like, well, we can ride off the coattail, even though Stranger Things isn't full horror, we can ride off the coattails of that for a little bit to figure out what type of horror we want to tell for the platform. And I really, from the first episode, I'm like, I'm locked in. I'm locked in. And I generally love some of the camera tricks, the way it's shot, it's lit, the performances. It is all working for me, babe. I'm like, I'm sinking. I immediately sunk into this. I love the family. Well, I'm creeped out by the family, but I love to be creeped out by that family. And I hope they lean into that.
Well, I'll let you know that the next couple episodes do stick with that dynamic. So at least for the next episodes, a couple episodes, I know you'll be satisfied with how it's going. So
also, like, I feel like Netflix won't admit how much that prom night flop really hurt them, because like if they had that R.L. Stine like avenue that they could really like feed off of, because that trilogy did so well, that would have been great. Also, switching directors was a silly idea. Anyway,
very silly.
Well, I do believe in the conspiracy theory, because apparently, what was it? One of the Duffer brothers was married to that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I believe in the conspiracy theory that like the reason why people had problems with the final season is because she wasn't secretly like the
ghost writing.
Oh, I read that. Yes, I did read that.
Once again, women and gays run the world, but you know,
I know that's right.
Once you cut them off, oh no, we just left with heterosexual white men. Oh, who said that? I did.
Love it. Obsessed with it. Okay, well, you're here for the Empty Man, and we got to get into it because I need to know everyone's thoughts about it. And so before we get into everything, the nitty-gritty details, Dylan is going to give us a 2-minute plot summary of the Empty Man, and Brian is going to time him.
What's the plot?
I got you.
Pressure.
All right.
No pressure at all.
2 minutes on the clock. Ready, set, go.
Do you love creepypastas? Do you love urban legends? Do you love small towns? Do you love The Ring? Well, let me tell you, I've got a film for you, and it is called The Empty Man, from filmmaker David Pryor, who previously worked with a lot of David Fincher films, stuff like that, prior to this movie. He finally makes his directorial debut with a debut. Words are hard. Debut. Words are hard for this Southerner, and you're going to hear it more as this podcast goes along. We follow a police detective named James. He is on the trail of a missing girl who comes across this urban legend of the Empty Man. You blow into this bottle, you scream the Empty Man's name, he appears, and it's causing all sorts of chaos within this town that might have both cults, supernatural, and Lovecraftian vibes all going on throughout this. And you just have to sink into the vibes of this film. If you're looking for something that's unfortunately a little bit off the beaten path of the post-pandemic horror films, and you want to see what you might have missed when we were all depressed and in lockdown, then I would say look no further than The Demon of the Empty Man.
And that's the plot.
30 seconds
Amazing.
left.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm
Good
telling you,
stuff.
and I feel like I was rolling on. I could have made that even shorter. I was trying for 2 minutes.
It was a nice elevator pitch, though. Like, it's solid. Yes. Fantastic. Well, let's get into our first segment, Trick or a Treat, where we let you know right off the top, was this a treat? We loved it, or we don't know how we feel about it, or we're kind of neutral about it. And trick, it was just not our cup of tea.
Trick. Treat.
So, Dillon, with mouth agape, trick or a treat?
Girl, this is about as treat as they come. I have seen this movie endless times. This was actually my return to the cinemas during the pandemic. So I actually got to see this movie on the big screen when it came out.
Oh, that's fun.
So I wanted, it was like the theaters were opening up, and I knew I was probably going to be the only one in the theater, but I just wanted to feel something. Like I wanted to return back after months and months and months of not having seen anything. And I knew I wanted to be a horror film. And this and both Come Play, that other horror film was playing. So I double featured. I saw this first. This was obviously the true winner. At the time, it had like a. Well, we'll talk about that later. I'm getting ahead of myself with the Rotten Tomatoes.
No, you're good. You're good.
I will never forget the Rotten Tomatoes score going into this film. So I remember what it was at, and I was like, I don't care. I just want to feel something. It could be a 0%. I just want to feel something. And generally, this is. We obviously have talked a lot about Malignant, and Malignant might be my favorite horror film of the 2020s. Malignant it's probably in my top 3 of the 2020s horror films. I go hard for this film. I love a movie with personality, so this is all treat.
I love that. And put a pin in that, because I do want to ask you a question when we get into likes and gripes about your experience watching it in the movie theater, but we'll get back to that. Jamie, trick or a treat?
I am a little bit slightly less enthusiastic. This is more of like an for me.
Yes, I know. I do it. I just because I'm gonna say the same. I'm gonna say the same, but we'll get into exactly why it is yes, and then Brian.
So this is an for me. I am open to being convinced to push it more towards a treat.
I have stepped into the enemy territory.
Well, Dillon, no, this is great, because 9 times out of 10, every time we are covering a movie and I either say like trick or Brian and Jamie just end up convincing me that it is a treat. And so like this is now can be your podcast of getting us to the treat of it all. Yeah.
I'm talking in as pastor of all things, the empty man. I will have you all converted.
I love it. Let's get into it with likes and gripes.
And now our likes and gripes.
Now we'll start off with you, Dillon. But what I wanted to ask in regards to you watching it during the pandemic, I think it's fascinating, because I wanted to ask, do you feel like what added to your like of this movie was what you were talking about, with just going in and seeing something and feeling something after all of like the shutdown, the depression of it all? Like, do you feel like if it was any other movie that you could still kind of have that feeling because it made you feel something? Or is it truly because of the nature of the film, the acting, the whatever, the setup of it all?
I will say I think it's a little bit of both, because I myself am I grew up in a small town. I love anything that takes place in that small town, urban legend. I don't like movies that necessarily are perfect, that like feel super like polished. I like things that have personality. Like one of my favorite movies of all time is 1973's Messiah of Evil. So that's like literally in my Letterboxd top 4. I love that movie so much. And that movie, like, you could ask, there's so many like questions that will have you scratching your head, like in terms of decisions, but it feels so singular in terms of the director's vision, and I like going on that journey. It's kind of like what I like about Malignant. It's like I feel like when I watch Malignant, I'm watching James Wan play with his toys and have fun as a filmmaker, and not try to be like, well, let me make The Conjuring, which is my version of The Exorcist, which is the scariest movie ever made. I want to make the scariest movie ever made. I felt like when I was watching The Empty Man, I was watching David Pryor, the director, play with his tools and I was actually seeing what David Pryor was capable of doing.
Yeah.
I myself just love this type of filmmaking, and I love cults. I love small towns. I love things that feel like they live in another realm. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
and I guess in the terms of the pandemic, I was the only one in the theater who saw this film. I saw it in a movie theater that you would probably classify as part of the back rooms in these worlds today. Like it
Yeah,
looked,
yeah, yeah.
it was as
Yeah.
run down as they could be. Like hardly anything was working. I went in there, I was by myself, and there's certain sequences that happen in this movie that I generally like had felt like I had to look behind me. You know, like I felt like maybe like I wasn't the only one in the film. So generally the atmosphere of this movie is just and the lingering, and I also love that it's 2 hours and 17 minutes. I
Yeah.
love a horror epic. I love when a horror film is over 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I can just like sink into its tone, because I honestly feel like if this movie was cursed from the start. I generally believe this movie was cursed from the start. If this movie hadn't had the pandemic, it would have been edited to shreds, and you would have gotten the Slender Man or By My Man version of this movie that would have
Fair.
came from Disney. But because the Disney and Fox merger had just happened around this time, they wanted to have a tax write-off. They wanted to put something in the theaters to just have a little pocket change, whatever it may be. They chose the Empty Man to be the scapegoat. They put out the director's vision, the original version of it. So ideally, it's like while no one watched it, at least I'm seeing the intent of what the original cut would have been versus
For
the
sure.
butchered to shreds version that I know would have came out that would have been 98 to 100 minutes long, you know. And it would have been somewhere in that ballpark that would have just been all about the lore and none of this like Ring-esque mystery of uncovering it and the traumas and all that other stuff that happened in the film.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll piggyback off of the time frame, because I definitely will be like, this is too long, or like this could have been 30 minutes, whatever. But you know, even in my of it all, I still was not thinking like this is so long, because I think while I was watching it, I was waiting for a different ending, or no, I was waiting for more information, which is crazy because the movie is already 2 hours and 17 minutes. But once we get to that last hour and we're like finding out the pieces of the puzzle, I was like waiting for more information, or I guess certain information. So I wasn't thinking this is so long. I'm like, wait, did I just miss something in this 2.5 hours? Because, and I'll throw this out there and we can have an open discussion about it. I felt like the ending was a little too convoluted for me, because I was invested in the mystery and finding Amanda and all the stuff like at the beginning. And I don't even mind the supernatural turn of it all, because that's what it feels like it is anyway from the jump, because we're starting from an urban legend, right? And then we kind of get into like, oh, but there's a cult, but it's still supernatural and there's still an urban legend, but like now this man is not real. Like how do we get to that part of it all, you know? And so I was like, you know, we use the term here like hat on a hat on a hat, and it felt a little bit like that at the end of like, here are all the different things that are happening as one at the end of this. And I think that I would have liked it doesn't have to be, you know, perfect, but if we would have just went down one lane, even if we didn't get full information, if we're just going down like the one lane is the urban legend of it all, and there's an empty man and he's out to get the people. We got the 3 days. We love a timestamp here. So I love when it's like day 1, this is what's happening. Day 2, this is what's happening. Brian, you're muted. Sorry, we can't hear you.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I'm coughing, so I've never used technology before. All I was saying is, oh, we love a timestamp.
Yes, yeah. So I love when it's like, this is going to happen on this day, and you have 3 days until like you're dead, you know, like you said, it's very Ring-esque. So love that aspect of it. If that's the case, that's the case. If it's just a missing person's case because there's a cult attached to it, then go that direction. even if it's like we made up this man for a supernatural purpose, okay, then go that route. But the fact that it was like all of it meshed together at the end, I just kind of was left with a little bit of like, huh? I don't know. Anyone have any comments on that? Brian.
No, Jamie.
Brian was
So I will say, I think I the first time I watched this film, I too felt like the ending was the weakest part. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on my first initial watch because I was so invested into it. And there's a sequence in this movie that is, dare I say, one of my favorite horror sequences of the 2020s. And I think we'll probably all know what's going on, what sequence I'm referring to. Out in the woods, baby. After I've rewatched it, I've now given it like 5 stars. Because I have now, like, this is generally speaking one of my genuine favorite films of the 2020s. I like it when a movie, like, beats to its own drum. Like, I don't have to constantly comprehend the lore of the Empty Man, but I felt his presence. There's something about, like, when he's, like, I guess spoiler alerts. I know they told you, y'all, but once again, spoiler alerts if you're just here. When they're exploring that cult and they're going through those rooms and there's all those folks who somehow feel like this entity is like real and worth like supporting and diving into and exploring. I think that's the moment where it kind of clicked on me on the second watch of being like, I don't need to understand the lore. I just need to feel the lore. Like I just need to feel it. And this second watch, I'm feeling that I feel connected to this Empty Man lore. And so I will admit, most of my experiences when I watch movies is all based on reaction. It's all based on feelings. I don't need to comprehend like the logic behind it, but if I feel the intensity, then therefore something is clicking. I don't need to know why.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I will say I've now seen it. I've probably seen this movie like 10 times, but I think I've only letterboxed it like 5 times. But I've seen this movie particularly a lot. And I generally like the lead. I think the lead is just such a like down in the dumps. Like I like an alcoholic.
I liked him.
I like an alcoholic. You know, like a broken man.
Well, he's interesting. Yes. The casting of him is very interesting, and I said this to Jamie while we were watching it. I was like, I like that James Badge Dale is this character because he's an actor who looks like 12 different other actors. So like he doesn't have his own like he doesn't have his own quirks. Like I've seen him in a million things like Flight and Iron Man 3, but like he never really registers as being in the movie for me. And that I was like, oh, that's interesting that he's playing this character. And then the ending comes where like he is an empty vessel essentially. And I'm like, oh, I guess good casting because they picked the one actor who I'm like could like
just
has been always an empty vessel to me.
I thought he did a really good job for being kind of not really having any like memorable qualities, if you will, but that works really well for this part.
Yeah, it's neutral.
Yeah, very neutral. For
role.
Me, he was very neutral in this movie, and that really works for this character and what this movie's trying to do.
Right. And Brian and Jamie, is this your first time watching this movie, or have you seen it before? I don't think we said that before.
I couldn't remember. I know that I've seen the first part of the movie before, like the opening, and then I remembered the ending. So I'm like, did I see this movie, or did I just conjure up all these images from like something else? But yeah, so I'm very confused as to how many times I've seen this, but I'm assuming maybe 1.5.
Maybe the Empty Man gave you the memories of seeing this movie.
You know what? Sorry, Jamie. I low-key hope that's the answer. I low-key hope that's the answer for you. Can I ask?
I had never seen this before.
Can I ask for the group? In terms of like, since we mentioned that cold opening, which, forgiven me, I went into this having seen the trailer, which is one of the worst trailers I've ever seen for a movie in my life. I don't think it markets the film at all. correctly, I thought the cold opening was not. I was like, "What am I watching?" It was like watching the Cabin in the Woods for the first time. I'm like, "What is this film?" Like this is not what I signed on for. I thought I was getting the Bye Bye Man. My question for the group is the cold opening secretly your favorite parts of the film? Because I've talked to some people who I low-key wish the movie was more of the cold opening than it was what comes afterwards. And then I'm on the side that I like what comes after the cold opening more than the cold opening, even though I do love the cold opening. I'm just curious.
I will say I preferred the cold opening to the rest of the movie. However, if just the rest of the movie, we'll call it the investigation part, if just the investigation part was the movie and the cold open was 10 minutes less, maybe 3 minutes, it was just an actual James Bond cold open or something like that, I think that would have been okay. Because I liked the second half. I loved the first half. I liked the second half. And so I just think that it adds character to the movie. I really like the guy coming back at the end as being the vessel in the hospital. I think because you get invested with it in the beginning, and then that comes back, and you're like, "Oh, cool! I love the connection here." But it does feel like two. It feels like two movies, and not in the way that Barbarian feels like two movies, because the tones are similar in this movie.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think that but the thing is, I also think that if we got more of the cold open, I think that we've already had other movies that have done that. So
that's what I was gonna get at, Jamie.
But not necessarily worse ones. I just think that we've already kind of seen that movie. So I can appreciate that it's kind of pivoting and doing something different, but it feels it felt super disconnected and slow until it brings us back to the end. But at that point, I think I was it was such a slow burn that I was oh yeah, that guy. Okay. Remember him? Also, he looked real old and terrible for what? That happened in 1995? Or is my concept of time and how old I am is just so skewed?
I think so. I mean, but I was I get it though.
I'm a teenager. Who's this old man that I'm watching?
Yes.
I'm literally a baby. I'm not looking like this guy. I was I was just how is he so old? I don't know. That really that's me maybe just grappling with aging and time and things like that.
I do think the two parts of this make this a way more interesting movie. I totally agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dillon.
I'm on the opposite spectrum as all three of y'all. I like the cold opening a lot. I like just the pulling the rug underneath me and thinking I'm watching one movie when I'm about to get another movie. I like that. Like that. It's that Friday the 13th, 2009 reboot type of mentality where you think you're introduced to the kids and then they get killed off, and 20 minutes later, now you're introduced to the real film. I love that.
I do like that. I think that I think that's a really fun thing, a fun mechanism for a movie, but I would say not all movies are created equal that use that as their
effectively.
Yeah. I also need the tone. To me, the tone in these, they were different but too similar. The movies that work for me that change halfway through, like Psycho, like Barbarian, like the 2009 Friday the 13th. In all of those, there's something about the switch in character and narrative that works, and I'll think through it. But for some reason, this one, I just think the slow burn was a little bit too slow, because I love all the actors in this. Maren Ireland is the fucking
I love her.
best.
She's she's so good. She was really good in this too.
Yeah.
like adding to the like creepy, like what is really going on kind of atmosphere.
Mhm.
Like I feel like she really delivered. She's great in like everything.
Like Dark and the Wicked, she's fucking incredible.
Oh my, don't
Right.
started on that banger.
The Dark and the Wicked is a fucking incredible movie.
So good. Yeah.
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 And she's and what an underrated scream queen too. Like I had to go back because I'm like, where do I know her from? And then I was seeing all the things like Dark and the Wicked and some other stuff that she's done. And I'm like, oh yeah,
she's in Birth/Rebirth, which I am
I love that movie. That was my top 10 of that year. Like I love that movie. I think that's one of the better like quote Frankenstein like versions we've gotten in a while. That movie's fucking great. And Carla from Scrubs, great.
Yeah. But I do want to go back. Just put that in my notes. I did put. I enjoyed in the cold open how quick we got to some action. So even if it did feel long, because I'm like, when are we getting into this title card? And like, since all this action is happening, like obviously these people aren't going to make it, and we're going to get to like the actual story. This is also me not having seen the trailer at all either, and just going in blind. So I'm like, okay, so this has to be the cold open, but it does feel a little long. But I appreciate all the action that is happening in it. So even if it connecting at the very, very end seems like a long journey, I did have a good time watching the cold open. And I'm all for people in the woods getting picked off. Like, that's my vibe. That's my energy. So, like, even if it is a knockoff The Descent, I still had a good time, like, watching the cold open in the sense.
I will also say, when it comes to the cold open, I never thought that was going to be the movie. So the change in tone and narrative never surprised me, because if you tell me with a font that it is 1995, I know that we are going to have a time jump. So they set the expectation for me that there was going to be something. That's the difference there, actually. Psycho, Friday the 13th, and Barbarian have these changes in tone and changes in like who we're following narratively, because Psycho does have something. It says like which day and what time it is, but that doesn't feel like those things don't
far off in the past.
They would, yes, like they don't set the expectation that something is drastic is going to change, so we're going a different narrative way. This one with the like, this is 1995 in Bhutan. Like I'm like, oh, however long this lasts, like we're going to flash forward. Like this 2020 movie is not about 1995. Like that was just like a gut reaction that I had to it. So I was not expecting this to be that. And then that title card's a fucking banger with the no P, so it's empty. Like really fucking great title
That was
card.
a nice title card.
Yeah. There is honestly a satisfying title card goes a long way with me. I'm a simple. Man. If you do something clever with the title card, or you do something like just take the title card and make it fill the entire frame, I'm like, ooh, this is cool.
I love it. Brian, would you like to continue on with your likes and gripes?
Yeah, I'll just read through what I put down. Great title card. I love a good bird swarm. Like, love a bird swarm to know that something's off because those birds are swarming.
The animals always know, so you gotta listen to them.
I wrote, what a random awakening lore. Like, you gotta be in a bridge and blowing a bottle and really think about him. I was like, okay, sure. Like, yeah, it's not like fucking like looking into a mirror. It's like, we gotta find the key and you gotta be holding a pickle and you gotta spray some salt on it because then that's how you get the empty man. I'm like, what? Okay, cool, I'm in.
Oh, God.
I wrote moody as fuck. We don't know how many. A lot. Somebody says that and I thought it was really fucking funny. Stabbed in the face. Fuck that.
Oof.
But can I say, I'm sorry, just with that scene, I do love the back and forth of like the empty man doing it and then what the reality of it is and her choking herself and so good.
Yeah. That was also like an exceptionally long pause of time. Like you're like waiting a long time, way longer than I feel like a lot of other, like you're always expecting something to happen and like it builds and builds and you're like, okay. And there's like, nope, just kidding.
Okay, still waiting.
Nope. Which like I thought was really interesting because then it's also like, is it real or is it not real? Is it in their heads or is like what exactly is going on? And so then for it to like, then it's like happening and like the intercuts, like you were saying, I was like, what did just happen? I don't actually know.
Right.
That was you said he co-edited this movie. The edit on that scene was exceptional in that song.
Yeah.
Like truly great. This movie reminded me a lot of the Malcolm Gladwell book, The Tipping Point, because apparently in Malaysia for a while there was a teen suicide epidemic where like it really like started to grow, and the whole book is about like what makes something a fad or a trend and like things like that. And like suicide was a trend for these young people there, and it had a lot to do with like frontal lobe development and not thinking about the consequences and just thinking about like what people would like. There was it's a fascinating chapter in the book, but that hanging scene on the bridge definitely reminded me of that. So it really, a lot of this movie got me. Here's what it is. This movie got me thinking about a lot of things because it has a lot of characters, a lot of ideas. For me, the ending, I didn't feel satisfied with what this did. I really enjoyed the ride because, like I said, I like tone changes. I like when the movie kind of like has character. It's not just like Lost in the Woods. What do we do with our friend? Like this had a lot of layers, but something about the end just like didn't do it for me. And I maybe I'll put a maybe I'll think of it or maybe I won't. The score of this movie makes everything more intense. It really raises the stakes, and I really appreciated that aspect of things. I am over the trope of a car not starting. I fucking hate that. How many times is a car not going to start when you like really need it to? And I get this movie's a little bit different thinking back now because of like who we know this person is. So I actually think I might enjoy this movie more on a second viewing, knowing how it ends.
Girl, try driving a 1999 Ford Taurus and getting it to start when you want it to start, okay?
Come on, Ford Taurus.
Sorry, I might have killed you a sponsorship with Ford, but
that's okay.
I see that. I'm like, been there.
Why are you poking the bear with your finger when you're holding a baseball bat? You don't know where that thing's been. You're holding a bat, and he's like, I'm going to touch the bear. The teddy bear. Yeah.
I was like, what bear? Did I miss something?
I didn't know that sequence. I was I was like glued in. I'm spooked. Help me.
When he goes, about halfway through the movie, I said to Jamie, maybe he's the empty man. We should have known all along, like as a joke. And then it fucking ends up being that way. And I was like, oh shit.
You guessed it.
But my favorite moment in this whole movie, by far, is when he kidnaps the cult kid and everyone's on their fucking phones.
Yes!
Amazing.
I have that written down too.
Incredible moment. A truly immaculate, incredible moment where like it's really intense. He's looking around like no one's fucking paying attention. He sprays him with fucking mace and he screams and everyone's so like, what's happening here? Which I think is like, his, like the director's like, thematically, I thought that really worked in terms of like, are we all empty? Are we all like trying to fill ourselves with somebody else's content, with somebody else's thinking, with somebody else's consciousness, whether it's real or not? I mean, I thought the way that this
that's actually generally a underlying theme of the film, which is
definitely,
which is what I love so much about it.
This movie, while a lot of things are happening, is about one thing, and I think that's why it really works in some ways. For whatever reason, this is a movie I will definitely watch again at some point, but I think this is an because it still works for me, even though a lot of things are happening. Just something about it wasn't satisfying, and I still can't put my finger on it just yet.
Yeah. Dillon, the faces. Okay. I love it. Y'all need to be watching this on YouTube.
I thought y'all were vibes, folks. I thought y'all were vibes. Okay.
We are.
Can we speak about the vibes of the forest, please? Like that's my
Talk
biggest,
about
like,
it.
because that's my biggest like. That is generally speaking one of the scariest scenes I have seen in the 2000s, hands down. When he goes to that cabin, which by the way shares the same cabin number from the Ring. So from the Ring, yes, fun
I didn't
little
know that.
here with your IMD, trivia
Yes.
for you. Look, y'all, I'm clocking in on them sponsors. I'm gonna get y'all some paid work here.
Thank you.
That sequence where he goes there and then goes outside and is going through the woods and looks out there and sees the folks running around and the flames and all that stuff. Generally, I was in that theater running in place with him. I was like, get the fuck out of there. Like, let's go, bitch. What is going on here? That was when your blood just goes from hot to cold in a matter of, like, when you have an epiphany, when you feel like something's not right, and then you have that epiphany in your life, you're like, oh, this is what's wrong. Now I understand that it's not just my delusion. There is something sinister going on here. I'm seeing it finally,
like firsthand.
That sequence is that. And while it does feel very heavily influenced by Ben Wheatley's Kill List, it reminded me very much of that when I watched that sequence of where that film goes at the end of that movie. I genuinely am so terrified because obviously, what does he do? He stops, and then everyone else stops. And no. I'm like, no, that's not right. Let's stop that. And then the fire's gone. They're all just standing looking at the dude. No. And he had the smart move. He said, hell no.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say. That was my favorite.
He made the right move. Yeah.
He did.
He started bolting out of there. And you know what I was like, that's right.
When they all start running, like, that was...
And it's shot so incredibly well. Like,
this movie is beautiful. The DP did a killer job on this movie.
Yes.
For a nighttime sequence, the fact that I can still see what's going on, but also those folks still look like shadowy figures, but I'm still being lit by the moonlight of the blues and the dark. The find that contrast, I know that DP was working overtime to make that movie look the way it did. So shout out to that man.
Even in the cold open, when they come into the cabin for the first time, that could have been dark and like very annoying, but like the way that they lit that like dark scene, excellent.
And even the other thing about the scene in the woods, I feel like would have been a nice collective theater experience because the fact that he has the moment of like, oh fuck this, I'm out. Like I can just sense people in the theater being like, yes, get the fuck out of there,
totally.
Because we always are following people. Sorry, go ahead. Oh no, you're the only one. Yeah,
I was the only one in the theater, and I kid you not, I was doing that very thing. I generally had my feet like kicking up, like like running for him. I was giving him the boost. I was giving him wind in that movie. He just didn't know it. Like I saved his life.
I mean, because like in horror movies, we're always following people who make dumbass decisions. So it really is like nice and refreshing when the lead is like, there is something wrong. Let me get the fuck out of Dodge. And then they're, going. And it's like, yes, that is the real life experience. It's like you're seeing this crazy cult thing. Like, there's no need to stick around. You saw what you needed to see. Let's get on out of there, So.
And I like when characters who have sad cop energy make smart decisions.
Sad cop energy.
I love a sad. I'm telling you, I love a sad, broken man lead. It's just one of my favorite tropes.
This character. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that this is based on a graphic novel because, like, sad cop for like a indie comic book like for an independent comic book, sad cop is like the character.
I will say I'm such I'm down bad for the Empty Man that I have actually read the Empty Man comics now, and I don't read comics. I don't read comics because I don't need another obsession in my life, and I know that when I fall for something, I fall hard. So, I have read the Empty Man comics, and I will say they are very different from what the movie's portrayal is. The Lovecraftian stuff is all there. The cop stuff is all there, but it's much different in terms of its adaptation. But I also do think it still works because it does get weird, and just like those comics do. And they're really one of the only few comics I've ever read, and I'm afraid to read anymore. I was worried for myself that so yeah.
Do they still make the comic, or is it like done? Like
I think it's done. From what I've read, it's done, and I feel content with whatever the original series that I read. Honestly, generally, someone gifted it to me. They said, "Hey, look, I found these, and I thought of you," and they sent them to me. And then I was like, "You know what? I will read these."
That's nice.
It pays to be a nice person. Be nice in the world, ladies and gentlemen. That's our message for today. Don't be
Don't be empty. Be nice, and find yourself some sad cop energy somewhere to fill your days. Brian, is that all you have for your likes and gripes?
Yeah.
Okay, Jamie, go forth.
I feel like a lot of the things have already been said. I know that and again, everyone's opinion's different. Don't come for me. Slow burns are not typically for me. I know this for myself. My attention span has only gotten worse with time. Chronically online girly who is addicted to her phone. It's just hard for me to remain engaged with things. So
that's real.
It was really hard for me to just like fully be locked in because of that. But that being said, I do think that there were a lot of like unsettling parts, but then I also thought there were a lot of unusual things, which like once you get to the end kind of makes more sense. But the one that really that I thought was like so strange was just Amanda's intro with the bottle introducing the Empty Man. She's like, okay, so we're all on this bridge and we're all gonna blow into it and we're all gonna do this. And I was like, how does she know this? Why is this happening? Why is she being so weird about it? Why is nobody questioning this? Yeah. What? Like just that whole sequence, I was just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Come to Roxborough, North Carolina, where we just got nothing to do, and someone says, hey, look, I heard about the Empty Man. We're going to do it. I'm like, well, beats hanging out at Walmart. Let me blow into this bottle.
Walmart is so real. Yes.
But it's not even just that. Like, New Jersey, we have the Jersey Devil. We also have the now I'm not gonna remember the name of the tree, the devil tree, where like I know people who have driven to this tree that like apparently like nothing grows on it. They surrounded it with like chain link fence so people don't touch it. Apparently the road leading up to it, you like see headlights following you trying to like take you off the road, but then it just like disappears. I know people who have gone up to this fucking tree and ripped bark off of it. It's like, what are you doing? Listen to the lore. What have you learned from urban legends if not to not fuck with it? Meanwhile, Amanda's like, hey, let's all go blow in this bottle together. I'm just like, no, we can be silly. I was hanging out in the Starbucks parking lot. You know, like we're all hanging out in dumb parking lots when we're kids. Yeah, borders. Like, but we don't need to be blowing into any bottles and like testing any urban legends, okay? That's my philosophy, and that's really my only note.
I love that. The only one that I did, it's not even an urban legend. It was just because of the craft, and it's the sleepover, like light as a feather, stiff as a board. But like,
oh yeah.
That's the only one that I fucked with.
Yeah,
but
the other one, there was one close to my town, but it wasn't like a thing. It was just part of the like. Do you know the Weird New Jersey like magazine website? Wait, really?
I don't.
Nikisha?
You're telling me something new. I know, and I lived here, but I don't know.
They just like talk about all these like random urban legend things that like exist within New Jersey. One of them is called the 13 Bumps, which I think it was in like Basking Ridge or something. It was fairly close to where I grew up, and it's on this road where you like drive down and you can like feel, you can count and feel these like very specific bumps. And apparently they had buried 13 witches on this road. And every time they tried to pave it over, the bumps would always come back. Ooh.
I love this.
And I have been on the road and I counted 12.
I need to. Okay, now I'm gonna go do it.
Low key, my psychoticness has been adding this to my travel destination. So
you're like all the weird places.
Stay tuned if I survive. I am always down for a good time. Look, I'm the opposite side. Y'all were talking about New Jersey. I'm from the deep south, so mine is all like the Wendigos, the Appalachian stuff, things that are happening out in the woods and the hillbillies. Your wrong turns. You know. Trumpers, those urban legends of those demonic stuff that are happening.
Trumpers, the urban legend.
The urban legend. Let's go.
Have you heard of them? Be wary of them. They may be coming towards you. So I will admit I'm down. See, look, someone told me to blow in the bottle, baby. I'm gonna blow in the bottle. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. And even if that good time is me going out by the empty man, baby, I had a good time.
You had a good time. You did what you wanted to do, and that is
you had a good
important.
run.
Hey, listen, Dylan, when you come up to New Jersey, you let me know. We'll drive that. I got a Toyota Corolla Cross. Let's go. We're gonna drive over the bumps.
I'll bring my 2020 Chevrolet Trax. We're good to get. I'm getting us all the car sponsorships.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. Well, I'll wrap up our license graphs with just one other scene that I want to bring up, and then we'll move on. But one of the scenes that I thought was done really well and was a little bit of a jump scare for me was when our lead character encounters the empty man figure for the first time in his house, and you can see the camera like panning through in the hallway, and like the entity is kind of on the ground but then like pops up and like comes towards him. I thought that was a very, very good sequence in the movie, and it was it was nice. I like the image of the entity too. I thought it's like a fun thing that they created in the empty man, the little shadowy figures. I love a little shadow figure in the house, just look behind me, make sure there's no shadowy figures in the darkness in my hallway. So
oh man, I wish you didn't point that out. Now I'm gonna be staring.
Now the whole time.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Usually I keep the door closed, but it's open, it's open for the empty man. So
has it been?
It's open for the empty man.
Is the empty man Elijah?
Oh God. Great. So let's move on to brains. Tasty. So Dylan had a question for Jamie. So Dylan, please share your question.
Oh man, I had so many questions, but for you, Jamie, now that we've been talking, I'm kind of pivoting. We talked a lot about like the male loneliness, epidemic that's kind of going on with this cop and the daughter and all that stuff. Do you find it very common that people will put outside, foreseen things that almost feel like where are you coming from point A to point B that you're already at this random E? Does that feel very common? Because it seems very common in a lot of male loneliness movies that like I'm gonna put all my interest into solving the empty man case because I can't seem to solve the case with my daughter.
Or deal with like their trauma. Yeah.
Or their trauma. Do they seem to find side task, I guess, as a way to combat in hopes that like they can do both at once?
Yeah. I mean, that's really interesting because
good question.
I never thought about it. Great job. I haven't I haven't thought about it in like the context of the male loneliness epidemic. and I want to think more about that. But for like the other part of like processing something, like for him in particular, because he thinks that he lost his family because he wasn't there, like him then investing time in helping the woman that he had an affair with her own daughter does feel like another way almost to like make amends for what he did wrong. And so like in turn, is this helping him process his own loss? The male loneliness epidemic really puts a spin on it, because like I feel like I feel like it opens up a door for like a lot of other things, because people are seeking the opposite of loneliness, right? Like they're seeking companionship, but perhaps maybe barking up the wrong tree because of just all of the things that are out there that people are exposed to. I don't know if like doing a side quest because he's lonely, it's really hard, because also like he didn't exist, I guess, so it's like he's just like plopped into time, and so we don't know like what he would have been doing up to this whole year after his family died, but yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people who can't face their own shit and like will pivot into something else because that feels easier than dealing with their own stuff. It's like you can't face yourself in the mirror with like who you are, and maybe there are some like changes that you want to consider. I feel like that's really a big part of like the male loneliness epidemic. Obviously, like it is targeting very young people at the same time, but I feel like overall there's a lot of people who are maybe less inclined to like want to have more insight into themselves. And so it's easier to just like fall into these other like side quests, as you put it, instead of like really doing the work on themselves. Cause who wants to do that?
Right. What a journey. But a journey that is needed.
Best relationship I have is with my therapist, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's on that. Obviously, we are a pro. Everybody needs therapy.
Bro therapy.
Bro therapy.
Let me tell you, what was it? And I don't even care saying this. I saw Hereditary, and it terrified me to the point that I started looking at therapy the next day.
There you go.
That's an incredible.
I love that
story.
Literally. So I started looking at therapy the very next day, and then I found the therapist, and then tried a few, but ultimately it took the power of Ari Aster.
We love that.
So, I mean, that tracks.
I think Ari Aster also needs therapy.
Weirdly enough,
with the movies.
So I met him at Fantastic Fest. He's low-key one of the nicest guys I've ever met, but I generally think he does need a therapist, and I don't know if he has one, but honestly, I think he lets his writing be his therapy in ways.
I think so too.
Definitely.
The consumers hear his inner thoughts, and then when he releases them, he just goes on to the next inner thought.
Yeah. And for people, just a reminder, something that is therapeutic doesn't necessarily mean it's therapy.
True.
Yeah, great statement, Brian.
Very true.
Speak it. Let it be known.
Pastor
Speak
Brian.
on it.
All right.
Please.
All right. The people are standing. They're singing, "Oh, how great is our God!" After that, let's go.
I mean, listen,
I've seen the sacrament. So. I know how it's done.
Right. Easter is tomorrow, so.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We love it. Great. I have a couple questions for you, Jamie.
Yes.
First one, the medicine that he was taking, doxepin. What is it? Who gets prescribed it? Let me know all the details.
Yes. So I had to do a little Goog because I had not heard of this one, but it is real. So
amazing. That's good on the movie.
Good job. We did it, guys. We did it. Right. No, I haven't heard of it because it is an antidepressant. So it is used to treat major depressive disorder. but the classification of the type that it is called a tricyclic antidepressant. So some other folks are probably familiar with SSRIs. If you are
Yes.
familiar with like antidepressant medication, SSRIs are Lexapro, Zoloft, Prozac, the ones that like used to have ads, which are like the newer antidepressants that are like most popular.
Mm-hmm.
Pre all of that, they used to do these tricyclic antidepressants. They're like the first gen antidepressants. So it's like very not old school, but just much older than. That's why I was like, huh?
Right.
I was like,
right.
the oxypin
Interesting.
always sounds like they're just making up something
Right.
that's like
Yes.
like a benzo,
Yeah, like,
which is what I
like
assumed
Klonopin
it
or
was, but no,
something?
it's a
Yeah.
real thing, which surprised me. So yeah, it's an antidepressant and it's real.
Oh, that's it. Because like movies, I feel like are just like it doesn't matter what this pill is, just know that it's for his mental health because he everything isn't necessarily real to him.
What
You know
was
what
the
I mean?
what was the pill in there was a benzo in Together. There's a joke about it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that they were snorting? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like,
Damn,
no,
I
it's not a
forgot.
benzo, it's Ativan or something like that?
Ah!
It's like, no,
Now
I
I'm
need to
looking for it.
remember the dumb joke.
Right.
I'll look it up, and Nikisha, you want to ask the next question?
Yes. Sorry, because I'm also was trying to see if I asked a question about.
Yeah, it's called
the
diazepam
medicine.
now.
Oh yeah, it's called
Right.
diazepam now. Yeah.
I've heard
Uh-huh.
of that.
Thank you. Okay. My next question. Now that I'm scrolling furiously back down to my notes.
Where is this
2 seconds. All right, we're here. So, next question: when police cases involve like a child that has a mental disability or any kind of psychological trauma, do you know like how soon they actually consult a psychologist, psychiatrist to like help in the investigation? Because in this, when Amanda does go missing, they do mention that like she had panic attacks and that she was on some type of or that she was depressed, but they don't really like consult a psychologist in the findings in the investigation first. So I just wanted to know if you knew like how soon, or if they just don't and they should be involving.
So I think it depends.
Okay.
I think that because they kind of alluded to the fact that like she's already, you know, potentially on medication or receiving some kind of treatment, one one would assume that like her, you know, therapist, psychiatrist, whoever that she'd been working with would be notified, probably by her mom. So that's one thought. If they don't necessarily, I mean, I think it also depends on like the context of why the police are involved. Because like when I worked in the DA's office, certain like mental health professionals would be involved, but in a different context. So like folks who would be interviewing like young people, like children or adolescents around very sensitive topics. They might pull in somebody who's like trained, but they're not doing therapy questions. They're asking questions about like, again, very like triggering, traumatic events that like young people might have experienced or witnessed. So like you can receive, like I could have gotten a special training it's like forensic interviewing. I could have gotten a special training to do forensic interviewing with young people. But then you're automatically like not taking on a therapeutic role, but the training is supposed to like elicit the information that you're looking for without it being, you know, too traumatic, and also like being mindful of how trauma affects people when they're like giving information, when they're like being interviewed. Because a lot of times like during police interviews, they ask questions in sequential order, but if you've experienced a trauma, your memory recall is usually impacted, so you might not remember it in perfect sequential order. You might remember pieces. You might be remembering like, you know, some of like the most recent part, but not like the earlier stuff. So like a lot of times there can be some tension because it's not always considered how like that trauma is impacting not just young people, but anyone. I kind of went off the rails there, but
No, that's
those are
great.
just random things that I was thinking of like
Sure.
when they might involve someone, or if it's like a crime where like, or an alleged crime where somebody like, you know, might need to be taken to a psychiatric facility, then they might like have somebody come in to like, you know, help facilitate that process. But
Yeah.
those are really all the things. Or they might never tell anyone, and you know.
That is
Right,
super
right.
fascinating, Jamie. I didn't
Mhm.
even ever think about that.
Yeah.
Particularly the thing that's really like struck a chord with me is this, like the memory blocks. It almost
Mhm.
makes me wonder, like, and maybe this is probably why like I don't work in that field. Like, do you want to ask someone a question and be like immediately jump to what they think their brain is going to remember first, and then put pieces together from that? You know, or do you just go? You're like, hey, look, hi, it's nice to see you. Like you're talking to a kid and be like, we want to talk about, let's say, December 3rd, 2016 or something like that. And build off of that. Or do you normally like jump around? Like, I have so many questions now.
So
That was
I
fascinating.
didn't do the forensic interviewing. I was like the only time that I did like a, not even the stint. They had called over somebody to support the lingo that they use is like victims. I would call them survivors if they wanted to be called that. But I was asked to help with a child sex victims case, where they were, the attorney was like reviewing evidence with the victim. And so I came in to like provide support to the victim while they were like reviewing the evidence. So I wasn't being asked any questions. It was just like, do you recognize like what is in front of you, basically? And I think it was just like yes or no questions. I think partially for like double checking, and also partially for like trial prep stuff, because they would just be asked like yes or no questions. But I think like with age definitely plays a role, because like obviously comprehension varies based on how young you are. You can't necessarily think more like abstract thoughts. And so I think a lot of like child therapists, play therapists might use different tools and techniques to like try to get information without maybe being so directive of like, okay, do you remember what happened at that night? Like, what were you doing? They might not even ask questions like that. They might be asking more of like, oh, like what games do you like to play? Or like they might, like a lot of child therapists or like play therapists use toys, their sandbox therapy. Like there's so many different tools to be able to like build a rapport with a young person in order to like get them, like support them in order to, try to get what you're doing in that case. So yeah, it really varies.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The sandbox therapy always makes me think of the opening scene in Us.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Which I also
Yeah.
find very, very cool. Just thinking about the different ways that you do have to talk to children of different ages, because of, like you said, kids are not going to be thinking in the abstract. So like, how can you get that information without it being so like interrogative or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
And I imagine somewhat of that, even though like with the Empty Man, we have a grown adult here, but he's extremely broken. Like he's an ex-cop. Like, maybe you might not have to go to the extremes of a toddler but I imagine if you're like coming to him, there might be some different methods you might want to, I guess, hit him with versus how you would normally hit, like, I guess, anybody else, particularly because he so far lived in that world, of crime and torment, and now he has it of his own. So
I mean, there's a lot of like folks who specialize in like working with police, and then other just like high trauma, high like person to person work. Like anybody who works in like the medical system, like first responders, and that would include like EMTs, people who work in like emergency rooms. There's a lot of people who are just constantly engaged in like some really intense, like, traumatic work, and definitely need that support, because like it does something to you, as much as you want to deny that that's the case. Like and if you are like, oh, that doesn't really bother me anymore, that is also a problem.
Right.
Then you are becoming desensitized to like violence and like horrible things, and that is also bad. So
that's
anywho.
Yes. I love that. Well, I'll leave it at that, because I feel like this has been a really good discussion about mental health and things. So
cool.
Let's rotten tomatin this.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game.
Okay.
Rotten tomatin.
What do you think this has on Rotten Tomatoes? Nikisha, why don't you go first?
Why did you ask me first? Okay. Because I just don't know. Either way, I'm gonna go a little low. I'm gonna go. I know, Dylan. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go 62.
All right, Jamie.
Don't hate me.
I was actually thinking like 67.
Okay. Dylan
already knows.
Girl, I already think whatever it has is probably low. Okay. So I'm going to go 72, because normally a film like this I think could be loved by some critics, but I feel like will still not mesh with everyone. So I think it's going to be in that 70s. I think it's in the 70s for sure. So I'll go low and say 72, when in fact it should be like 87.
Fair.
it has a 73.
Wow.
So you win.
Damn.
Price is Right rules.
Watch me sashay right on up to that Price is Right podium. Do it, girl. Now, I do want to note that when I saw this movie, it had a glorious 19% on Rotten Tomatoes, because when I reviewed this movie back when I lived on the YouTube before TikTok and all that other stuff, I even talked about this movie, and I'm like, y'all, I think my taste is different, because y'all done lost the plot. I just walked out of the movie. These people are hating it, and I'm here to clock in once again as the guy on the internet to tell you why this movie is good and everyone else is wrong. And I have a deleted comment from David Pryor that is now deleted, and it makes me think that like maybe the studio saw it, talking to me about how much he loved the video, but also pinpointing some comments that I had about the marketing and the release of the film. And let's just say my opinions are correct. Disney did them dirty. The mouse does people dirty.
Damn, that's so unfortunate.
Don't play with that rodent, man.
I know, they'll mess your life up.
And just for shits and giggles, the popcorn meter, which is the audience score, is 60%.
Okay. Yeah.
History will. I am always right. Okay. Maybe that's the Leo in me coming out. But history will be kind. People will get on the Malignant train. People will get on the Empty Man train. People will, history will do kindness to this film. Yeah.
Obsessed.
History has its eyes on the Empty Man.
Don't do that. Not that.
Blow into the bottle. Do it. Go to your local Scientology church and just blow into a bottle.
Oh. That part.
No.
What do you think this has on Letterboxd out of 5 with decimal points? We'll go reverse order. Dylan, you go first.
Oh God. I think it's unfortunately probably like a 2.4, and that's just disgusting.
Jamie.
I was gonna say like 2.7.
All right.
And I'll go
Nikisha?
2.6.
It has a 3.1.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Because normally the 2.0 section, that's where I ride or die, baby. That's where I ride or die.
Yeah.
2.5 on Letterboxd. I'm like, we got a banger. It's like seeing a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes in the early 2000s.
Oh, you're like, this is mine.
This is for me. This is for me.
Yeah. That's fun.
All right, so here are some of the reviews. So the most popular reviews are all very long, and really all they're saying is like, oh fuck, this was really good. I did not expect that. But the third most popular review and says, I hope this does not happen to me.
That's it. I just hope it doesn't happen to me. That's great.
It doesn't even have a star rating.
I just put up Letterboxd and just realized I have liked that review.
Here, this is from this is from David Sims. Were I investigating a series of bizarre disappearances and murders, I would maybe not go to a creepy bridge, blow on a bottle, and think hard about the empty man.
Definitely, I guess.
The first hour is freaking confident and enthralling that I forgave some of the meandering in the middle. James Badge Dale versus a less whimsical Babadook, told without cheap jumps or frenzied edits. A perfect 20-minute ghost story opening that practically functions as its own short film. What's not to love? I wish I'd seen this in a theater. Also from David Sims. Cool. All right, let's do the 4 S's.
You didn't read any of my 6 Letterboxd reviews. I see how.
No, you told us how. You told us already. Although we will now be reading. Now that you are officially a friend of the show, we will read your reviews when they come up from movies we cover.
Please, because ladies and gentlemen, on Letterboxd, I just use it for the stats. So I'm about as unhinged as they come sometimes on these Letterboxd. Whether it doesn't just mean for horror, it means for anything. Like I saw the recent new Super Mario Bros. And you know I talked about Luigi. Okay. Okay. So, like,
because who else is there?
Because there is nobody else there. My eyes
There's
are
nobody
locked
else.
in. And look, pitch voice. You've heard nothing but a pitch voice for the past hour. Okay, Charlie Day's another pitch voice man. We pitch voice men had to stick together. Okay, so yeah. So I'm just saying, y'all better read my Letterboxd for filth.
The next Iowa Debris over here with the Letterboxd.
Oh my god, I love her.
Well, let's do the 4 S's.
Skull, scare, shakes, and suggestions. The Talking Horrors 4 S's.
The 4 S's are skulls, scares, shakes, and suggestions. Skulls is how well this movie handles mental health and human behavior. And then scares is how scary was it, and shakes is, will you remember it? Can you shake it off? Jamie, let's start with you.
Sure. For skulls, I gave this a 4. For scares, I gave it a 2. And for shakes, I gave it a 4. Oh no, the lenses are coming off.
Oh no.
Again, this is just my opinion, and everybody's entitled to their own opinions, and I support any of you and your opinions.
I'm just hyping up the tea for the people who are watching this on YouTube. That's all.
We'd love to see it. We'd love to see it.
Nikisha, why don't you go next?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I gave the skulls a 6, and I gave it a 6 because that man said "fuck this" and ran, and that's about as good as you can get in a horror movie.
Bonus 2 points for that.
Do you know what I mean? Like he gets 2 more points for that. This was not scary to me. Did I like the sequences? Yes, but this is the score is based on, did it scare me? It did not scare me, so this is a 1 for me. And I don't even want to say what my shakes are because Dillon is not even looking at us anymore. He's looking at the table for those of you who are just listening, and he's ready to hit all of us. It's okay, Dillon. I boxed too. We can have it out. I love you though, in the friendliest way.
Look, I got the power of gay rage and Dolly Parton on my side. Don't worry. Look, watch out.
You're right. You're right. I got the 92% on my side, but it's gonna be a good fight.
Oh my God.
It'll be a good fight. Just two Southern broads, you know what I mean? Going at
I
it.
love it.
I love it. It's a 3. It's a 3. It's a 3. Don't hate me. It's a 3.
Wow.
I'm doing a 6 for skulls, a 2 for scares, and I'm giving it a 6.5 for shakes.
All right.
Wow,
Dylan, share your
you
scores.
Said, let's come on. And you said, oh, and I sent you my list of films. You said, oh, let's do The Empty Man. I thought that I was joining the cult of Empty Man, folks. I thought we were coming on here and I was just we were going to kumbaya, blowing into some bottles, singing his praises. No, I guess I'll be joining the cult later tonight by myself. Because let me tell you how you properly rank The Empty Man based off of the 4 S's. Skulls.
Tell us.
All right. I will admit, I don't think it depicts the mental health. I think that's probably the weakest part, actually. Because I don't think that's actually its driving force of it. I'll give that actually like a 6 or 7. 6, 7. Chronically Online. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Look, we gotta keep these investors and these, future people locked in. In terms of scares, baby, this thing scared the crap out of me. Shit stains. In that AMC Theater 16 in Wilmington, North Carolina. All right. I was fighting for my life. This is a 9 for me. But granted, yes, I had an incredible experience watching this movie. I saw it on the big screen. But generally, I was so locked in. Like I said, I love a movie that beats to its own drums. I love a weird personality. I don't like the car. This movie is hypnotic to me. I every time I watch it. And I generally, this is a 10 in terms of shakes. In terms of the early 2000 horror films, I have not been able to shake this one off.
Yeah.
Generally, this is a perfect 10 in terms of shakes. Even what you could find as imperfections, I find myself thinking about those so on the regular that as time progresses, I notice that imperfections tend to just like fine tune and age a film, and you don't even tend to really care. It just becomes part of its DNA. And those moments just, I think, make this movie so singular when I watch it, and I'm just so like hypnotized. And especially when you think about all the other films like it, like Slender Man and The Bye Bye Man, who did what this tried to do. And how worse this could have been. So yeah,
love it.
All right, let's go around the horn with our suggestions. Nikisha, do you want to start?
Yeah, I have a couple, and I probably will take some people's. But we were talking about urban legend, so the movie Urban Legend of Cars. This also gives me, with the investigation of it all and the cop, but with the female, long legs energy. And then my last one is 7, again, just for the investigation / urban legend of it all. That's it.
Jamie?
Yeah, the beginning of this movie kind of reminds me of The Ritual.
I fucking love that movie,
yeah.
And then the bridge and doing weird urban legend things on bridges remind me of Butterfly Kisses.
Oh, that's on my list too. Yeah,
Okay.
a fucking great movie.
I haven't seen it.
That was the first movie this reminded me of. Totally.
Yeah, those are mine.
Cool. I've got 3 weirder not weirder, but like weird New Jersey. The Ewan McGregor movie Stay.
Oh,
I don't know that movie.
Reminded me of this. The Christian Bale movie The Machinist.
Okay.
And then Jacob's Ladder.
Ooh.
Didn't we do an episode on that?
Yeah, we did. This all
I was just like out of the brain. Okay.
all those are like kind of like have sad cop energy.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Energy.
Yeah. Well, the ones that I picked were based off of the vibes and aesthetics that I feel like, not necessarily like narrative beats.
Sure.
Obviously, The Ring. I felt like The Ring was the biggest influence. Even the director himself said that, like, I love that movie. And I think like the whole like investigative, we're doing something longer, we're on an adventure type of thing. I think that is so heavily The Ring, but also in terms of beaten path, the movie is not afraid to get a little weird at times. So I think 1973's Messiah of Evil, I think, where it just like does its own thing. It doesn't necessarily try to explain things necessarily of what you're watching. It just hopes that what you're watching, you feel something with it. And that's also why I'm a big fan of my third film I'm bringing, which is Mickey Keaton's Off Season, which is kind of like very also similar to Messiah of Evil. I love this movie as well, and I actually don't know if anyone, from what I've gathered from y'all's conversation, if you'd even like it. I love it. I've seen it. It's another film.
Wait, which one? Messiah of Evil?
Mickey Keaton's Off Season from 2001. It is streaming on Shudder. Shudder, please sponsor this podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Look, y'all, I'm putting money in your pockets, y'all. Okay, y'all are getting paid. All right.
Thank you.
I'm really trying here. I've seen it a couple of times. I've only logged it twice. I know I've seen it more than that. It like Off Season, I even said in my first review, Messiah of Evil meets Silent Hill, but it's a little bit more messier than both of those. But I like a movie that just like feels like something is off, like something just feels off the whole time. And I live in that aesthetic. And if you're in a small town, you got me a sad man, and Off Season's a sad woman. And you just like, yeah. Oh, also Off Season stars the main lead, Jocelyn from that House of the Devil. So
Okay.
Jocelyn from House of the Devil.
Nice.
But I don't think you guys would like it, given how this conversation has gone. But you'll
I really want to watch it.
If you watch it, you'll get more of a vibe of what Dillon's vibing with. Because I tend to like my movies either 100% the most pretentious thing you've ever seen in the world, or the most wackiest, silliest, fun times that you'll ever have.
For sure.
No in between.
Yeah, there's really no in between.
So Dylan's review is first on here with 3.5 stars, and then it's like 1 star, 3 stars, 1 star, 3 stars. So like, I'm even more fascinated to watch this movie.
It has such a really fascinating opening, and like just the vibes and aesthetics is very much just like we're walking through a small town and weird things are happening. Nothing's really like tying together really, and then there's this big thing at the end that I guess you could say ties everything as the puppeteer of it all. Messiah of Evil is kind of the same way, but it's not necessarily about, I don't think that's like, like the movie just wants to spook you. It just wants to spook you. And I feel I was spooked. Okay. I've
I love it. I mean, sometimes you need those kinds of movies, that are just like, it's here for one purpose, a crazy campy purpose, and that's it. And that's fine.
Exactly,
like we need those in the lexicon anyway. So
exactly. And the same with the pretentious stuff, because people know on the internet I'm probably the number one skinamarink girly online. So like that's the duality. That's the duality of the slasher reviewer. Okay. We're trapped in Jason Voorhees Malignant. I'm trapped in skinamarink.
But this is very informative. Like there is still a lane there. Like there's a pattern there. So that's also very interesting. Great. Well, that wraps up our episode of The Empty Man. Dillon, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us on this wild and crazy kids journey. You can follow us Talking Horror on the Instagram, on the TikTok at Talk Horror Pod. And producer Brian, where can they listen to us?
You can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. So you can, of course, listen to us. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. And, of course, Apple Podcasts. Rate and review us there. 5 stars, please.
And thank you. I love it. I feel like, Dillon, you just got to give us one sentence pitch for why people should be watching The Empty Man. 1 sentence pitch.
Your 1 sentence pitch of why you should watch The Empty Man is because SlasherReviews said so, and he's correct.
And that's the episode, ladies and gents. So we love it.
Thank you.
We'll see y'all next time.
Thank you so much, Dillon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.